Roots Dictionary, and then while I was in the Roots Dictionary, my focus veered towards other words, and then I found Homônumos.
Good afternoon, Christine
Yes.
Bellerose. I'm Camille Levert, and thank you for inviting me in your apartment here. We are in Chaillon district. I'm going to make a little interview about your new magazine, Homônumos. Yeah, this is Homônumos, first issue.
Yeah, first issue.
First issue. Tell us a little bit about you. So you are a Canadian writer, right?
I'm French-Canadian. I write in French and in English. I've been in China for 7 years, about 6 years. Why I came to China is because I was in Vietnam for a little while. I was doing a body language survey, and then I went back to Canada and I got a job offer for Guangzhou, the south of China, to work on the branding and color forecasting and doing advertising and stuff like that. I stayed there for a year. In Guangzhou I met Wang Lei. He's a musician, DJ. He inspires a lot of people to just do what they want to do, just go for it. He inspired me too. So when I quit my job, I went to Yunnan for 3 weeks to see if I could write a book and have the discipline instead of partying every night, and I did. I wrote the book in 3 weeks, and it took me 2 years to edit it. So I moved to Beijing to be with the artist community, to share ideas and to brainstorm and to be part of this sort of like art movement group. That's why I came here.
So your magazine, Homônumos, it's a Greek name, right?
Homônumos is Greek, Latin, and numos comes from nama. Nama comes from Sanskrit. So means people. O and os means all. Humo comes from Sanskrit. That means nama, means name. So it means all the man or the human share the same name. So it's not an exclusive, it's inclusive. It's a little bit like smart because it's Greek and Latin, and also the whole thing about, you know, inclusive. This magazine is not for the elite. This magazine is for everybody who thinks, who wants to think. So it fits well.
How do you met the contributors? Who are they and what do they do in life?
I put an advertising in That's Beijing. That's Beijing is an information magazine in Beijing, and in 2 days I got 48 answers from that. So that was the start of me having very short nights. The people at the Tango group do different things. Like there's an architect that wrote, a woman who wrote an article on tango. My art director I met through tango. Then all these writers, I asked them, what language do you speak? Because in Beijing people speak a lot of different languages. Chinese and English, but then French or German or African or Spanish or Italian or... But ideas who come first in one language, then you have to translate it. You lose the essence of it. It was interesting.
So the first issue of this magazine is about the norm. What can you say about it? What is the norm for you?
The norm? Since I commissioned the authors to send me pieces that were avant-garde on literature, philosophy, and science, before I even had a name for the magazine, before I even had a topic. So then when I got some article that I really, really liked, I still had to put a theme. And I thought that the norm is a theme that encompasses absolutely everything, because you can be in the norm, out of the norm. It's about the norm. And that was actually really interesting because an American and a person from UK and a Chinese artist exchanged their views on the norm. And the norm in these 3 languages, at least between China and UK and US, is really, really different.
Christine, would you like to read one of your favorite extracts?
Yeah. One of our favorite is an article by, I can't read this one, it's too long, The Birth of the Blue, by F.A. Okogu, who's a man, and wrote a story. It's a fiction biography, and the fiction is, the main character in the story is a woman. I thought he was a woman when he wrote that, but he's a man. That's my favorite story. But I'll read you. This is mine. In French, it says, pourquoi vous sentez-vous important de votre insignifiance? It says, why does your ego convert a sense of uselessness into a sense of importance?
Our next issue is about perspective.
Yeah.
And it's going to be blue.
Yeah.
And where can you find and buy your Homônumos?
Homônumos?
magazines? Yeah. And how much does it cost?
In Beijing, Homônumos, the first issue is 30 renminbi. It's at time zone 8. There's one in the Shanzhe district. And the Bookworm, so that's near Stanley Tune. It's an art book restaurant cafe. And Imagine Gallery represents foreigners who come to China. And there'll be other places too in the Shanzhe area where you can get them. And we're starting to send some to different galleries in different places in the world because we want Homônumos to be everywhere because it's in multi-language. And from Beijing it's possible.
Would you like to say something special thanks or special thing to conclude?
I have a thank you list in here for everyone.
Okay.
Thank you. But I forgot to say thank you to my dog. The third issue is Infinity, and it's going to be dedicated to my dog. Infinity. Voilà, Pirelli, say hello.
Thank you, Christine.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.